What's up, guys?
Hey, hey, hey.
It's your girl, Lindsay Does It.
And it's Hazel Joy.
And this is the
Millennials Podcast.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
For the second time, because I know we said it on our last episode.
Yeah, we did.
But it technically is now January of 2024.
January, baby.
Here we are.
Cheers. Let's have a toast.
Cheers to this.
Popped a random bottle of champagne
Of
in
Cook's
the studio.
champagne.
Herb or Mac. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's yours.
thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, man. Refreshing. It's like soda.
It is. It's slightly bitter soda. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Remember last episode we did a little bit of karaoke after the show? That was
Let
fun.
me tell you something. Champagne gets you turned.
It actually does.
I don't know what it is. And then it gives you a massive hangover or a headache later.
I know.
It's got to be sugar content.
I didn't really get a headache. Did you?
I did.
Oh, shoot.
I always do when it comes to like champagne or like wine.
Oh, wine. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I always fall asleep with wine.
But with liquor, I'm always fine.
Oh, my gosh.
So more of that, please.
I
Next time,
know.
whoever-
So I'm so excited to be back
Same.
after a little mini 2-week hiatus.
we had a little vacay.
So we were out with our families and whatnot, celebrating the holidays. How was your holiday?
Oh my gosh, holidays were great. Actually, me and my boyfriend went to New Orleans
For Christmas?
after Christmas.
After Christmas.
We went and it was, oh my God, I can talk for hours about the food that we ate and the things that we saw and like our experiences and things like that. There was a Harrah's casino there, so of course we gambled. So, I mean,
Of course.
New Orleans has everything I could ever want in a city, including a
Really?
casino.
Could you see yourself moving there?
You know what? No, because of the hurricanes that happen in the South, I would be a little bit too scared to live there. I can deal with earthquakes. I can deal with brush fires that we don't really experience too much in SoCal, but I mean, it's a California thing. But as far as like hurricanes, anything with water, I'm good.
Yeah, I can kind of share that fear. And I don't know if it's just because we're accustomed to being just used to earthquakes, but still earthquakes are kind of scary too. Like I felt the last one too. I think it was on Monday.
Oh, shoot.
I felt one recently.
Was that like in the Inland Empire?
I think so.
Oh,
Could that be why
shoot.
I felt it more because I'm closer than you are?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then I think on New Year's Day, there was an earthquake kind of like off the coast of California.
I didn't feel that one.
And that was like early in
Yeah.
the morning. So I know we were all asleep.
But was it
Partying.
Japan that got hit with a 7
Yes,
point?
that's true. Yeah, I forgot
Really
about
bad.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
on New Year's Day, they got hit
Yeah.
with a 7 point something earthquake.
Ooh.
So scary. And I mean,
Very scary.
Japan and like Southeast Asia they get the earthquakes really bad. Like devastatingly
It's
damaging
sad.
earthquakes.
Oh man, it's scary. But also 2024 came in with a big bang, not with just the earthquake, but with a whole bunch of other things that we'll get into later.
Oof, God. This year is off to a blazing start.
I know, but I do want to hear about like how was the food in New Orleans and
Oh my gosh. Okay.
and the seafood specifically.
Oh, the seafood is so good. So I'm the kind of person that likes cooked seafood. So for example, oysters, you'll never catch me eating it raw. I tried it once, not for me. But in
really?
New Orleans,
With the lemon and Tabasco? No.
you can dress it up with as many juices and condiments and hot sauces. I cannot keep it
Really?
down.
Interesting.
It's the texture and even the taste. I don't really like the taste.
They
of
say it's an
oysters.
aphrodisiac. Oysters. Do they say that? Have you heard that,
yeah.
Aaron? He's like, no, I never heard of that.
Yeah, oysters apparently are an aphrodisiac, so are like escargot. And I would eat escargot over oysters, raw oysters. Actually, I've never
I
tried.
don't know about escargot.
I've never
Snail?
tried.
Isn't that what escargot is?
That
a
is.
fancy word for a snail.
I haven't tried it yet, but I probably will. But in New Orleans, they have, of course, the raw oysters, which people love, but they also have char-grilled oysters. So what they do, they take oysters, they put like this herb, butter, garlic, and cheese, like kind of like sauce on top, and they charbroil it, and it's so good. If you like mussels, it kind of reminds me of mussels because of like the cookedness.
Ooh, mussels are a little bit tougher.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, so the cooked oysters aren't as tough as mussels, but they're more palatable for
For
me.
you. Is it the texture that kind of throws you off?
Oh, for
or
sure.
The
And the
taste?
taste.
And the taste?
Ugh. Like, why would you want to?
Interesting.
It's like seawater, salt water.
So what would you rate whatever this dish was?
Oh my gosh, 9.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yes.
And for someone who doesn't really like oysters that much.
Exactly.
But it was cooked.
It was cooked.
Wow, that's high.
And I love garlic butter, anything. So they put garlic butter on it. And I was like, honestly, this is my second time going to New Orleans. And this dish was the one I was looking forward to the most, to eating again. So, yeah.
Sounds
And
good.
it did not disappoint. Casamentos in Uptown, New Orleans, they have the best char-grilled oysters.
Dang. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Another honorable mention, Parkway Bakery and Tavern for the po' boys.
Ooh,
Yeah, Darius.
po' boys. And those are like sandwiches.
Yep.
Right.
Sandwiches on kind of like French bread.
Mm-hmm.
So I had what they call the James Brown. And
The
like-
James Brown.
And this po' boy won an award a few years back, and it's basically barbecue beef with fried shrimp in a po' boy, and the combination is so delicious. It's so good.
My mouth is watering now,
Oh.
and my eyes are just like stunned
Oh,
because
God.
it sounds so delicious.
Yep, they put like a hot sauce mayo in it with like lettuce and
I
tomato.
love spicy.
Oh, so good. So yeah, I mean,
Good
I
thing
can
we
go on
ate
and on.
dinner because my stomach would be growling right
I
now.
know.
But
Just
we
thinking
ate
about it,
for
I'm
the
like,
show.
I can't wait to go back. I think I want to try to go back in April.
Ooh.
They have like what they call the French Quarter Fest. So the thing about New Orleans, the music scene is crazy. I mean, it's the birthplace of jazz, and there's also a bunch of like up and coming or like aspiring musicians that live out there too. So French Quarter Fest is basically a free festival. Like there's musicians playing, there's artists selling their work, and all that good stuff, and it's all for free.
Do they really give you beads if you like show your boobies?
So that's Mardi Gras.
Oh,
Which
they give Mardi Gras.
which takes place in February. I don't know if they still do that. I'm actually, yeah, they probably still do
do.
that. I mean, if you feel
I
like it,
didn't realize
flash.
it's only during Mardi Gras, but yeah, you're right.
Well, that's when it traditionally, when the bead throwing takes place.
Yeah.
And just like the throwing of treats and like trinkets and everything. But when you're on Bourbon Street, which is basically like the
strip of like Vegas.
Exactly. Well, more like the downtown Vegas feel.
Okay.
Fremont Street. When you're in Bourbon Street, there's hotels that also line the street, as well as like restaurants, bars, and clubs. So people are on their balconies and they're throwing beads too. So all year round, because it's just a thing. So if you show your boobs, whether you're a girl or a guy, whoever's up there, probably just give you some beads. Yeah. But I loved it.
How was the weather?
The weather was chilly.
Chilly.
It was chilly. It was colder there than it was here. The cold front, I was talking to like a cashier at a hot sauce store, funny enough, who's been living in New Orleans for like 20 years. He says that when a cold front hits, it takes away all the humidity. So when it's cold weather without the humidity, it really hits you like in your bones.
Oh.
So we felt it. It was manageable, but it was definitely colder than what we expected. And the heartbreaking thing, though, was the last day we were there, which was a Saturday afternoon, the sun came out and it felt like 70 degrees.
Really?
Like, where was this whole time? But yeah, I love New Orleans. I can't wait to go back. My coworkers enjoyed the pralines that I brought back, which is basically pecan candies that I brought back. And yeah, they're pretty good. So have a sweet tooth. I'm going to go back. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to eat more food and like party and yeah, do all that stuff.
Did you guys do any activities?
Thank you for reminding me. We went on a haunted tour.
Really quick though, I feel like you and Cubby usually have a little cool fun thing planned when you guys travel.
Yeah, we try to like
you went to you would go to museums and things like that. Yeah.
And we did that too.
Yeah.
Kind of. But we on the second night we were there, we did a French Quarter haunted walking tour.
Ooh.
So the French Quarter is basically the old town of New Orleans, which is where Bourbon Street is also. And so our tour guide was freaking awesome, and she told us ghost stories and just like true crime stories and just like
that
urban
happened
myths.
there.
Yes. And while we
Crazy.
walked around, and it was so educational because not only did we like hear scary stories, we heard about the history of New Orleans. And
Interesting.
we learned a lot of things that we
And
had
it's haunted
no clue.
supposedly?
Yes.
Or it is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel it? Like you just, as soon as you got there, you're like, ooh,
It's so funny.
chills
'cause-
up your spine.
Yeah, because I told my boyfriend afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, when she was telling this blah, blah, blah story, I kind of felt something on my shoulder. And he was like, oh, that was me.
You would say that.
I'm like, and you're just now telling me that like the day after. He's like, oh, that was me on your shoulder. But But it's so funny because there's this like famous square called Jackson Square, which is in front of this beautiful cathedral in for the French Quarter. They lock it up every night. And the tour guide was like, if you look inside the Jackson Square within like the gate, if you see somebody in there walking around at night, remember that the gates are locked and no one can get in. So if you see someone walking around in there, it's a spirit.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
So that was it. I mean, yeah, and we also went to a spot, City Park in New Orleans, and they have a huge sculpture garden. So about the museum, like, idea that you're talking about, we kind of went, they have a museum on site as well, but we more or less just hung out around the statue garden, took a bunch of pictures, and yeah, just saw some really dope art. It was great.
That sounds like a good time. I've never gone, so everything would be like, oh, amazing.
Millennials trip, New Orleans,
Hey,
2025.
live show.
Oh,
manifest that, baby.
So fun fact, and I think I said this on one of our previous episodes, one of the, I think the first Filipino, I don't want to say colony, the first Filipino occupation in the United States was in Louisiana.
Really?
It's super far from New Orleans. Otherwise, I would have like paid it a visit. But it's like in a lagoonish area, which is, I mean, it's Filipinos. They're going to find themselves in a water type of environment, a humid environment. So I could see Filipinos thriving actually in Louisiana because it's humid and hot and there's water everywhere.
Yeah, it sounds like the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They were fishermen too. So
makes sense.
Cool. But yeah, enough about my Christmas and holiday. How was yours? How was your Christmas?
It was really, really chill and wholesome. We finally got to spend time with my brother and his family. Excuse me. He just had another baby. His wife had another baby. So
congrats.
we have a new addition to our family.
Oh, boy.
2 boys now for them. And yeah, it was really nice. And it was also the first time they got to see my son.
Aww.
So yeah, it was a big reunion. So we went to Mesquite, Nevada, and they had been there. We stayed with them for like 3 days, and then they surprised us with those. Have you ever rode one of those like 4-wheeler things that kind of go through the
ATV?
desert? ATV thingy? Yeah,
I never have.
We drove it and actually rode on that, and it was actually really fun. But it is a thrill. Like, I was screaming the whole time.
I would be scared out of my mind.
You would actually. I was scared out of my mind because you're going through the gravel of like the desert basically, and it's just like bumps and you're just like, oh,
dunes.
whoa.
Oh
Dunes, yeah. And I haven't even got around to editing any videos, but there was a moment too where my sister-in-law took us to like the tunnels too. So I drove through that, and that's crazy.
Tunnels in the desert?
Yeah, like
Ooh.
under the road passageways, you know, kind of thing. And we like drove through it, and I'm like, dude, imagine like one wrong move and you're like, would you drive like circular? Oh my, proper word for that, but you know what I mean, like around.
Oh, gotcha, like flip.
Yeah.
Oh my
like
god.
In the tunnel.
I see what you mean.
Like
Like go around
like one wrong move,
like G-forces, and you're just like going
exactly
spiral.
Did
it have buckles and straps?
We were seat belted in, yeah.
Okay.
But there was a moment where it was just hills and you're just like up and down. So if you get like motion sickness,
it's over.
I forgot to take Dramamine before, but I was fine. I was just like, you know what? You're less motion sickness when you drive it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel that way. I'm usually in the driver's seat whenever I like go anywhere. Yeah. But whenever I'm in the passenger seat or even the back seat, I feel a little motion sick. I'm like, oh my God, am I nauseated right now? I can only imagine being in an ATV on the passenger side and just like let me just close my eyes.
And then they have like bars on the little thing. So you're just like holding on. You're like, ah. I was literally screaming the whole time. And like, it was fun though. It was amazing.
Was it cold out there?
It was cold, but it wasn't like, we're out when the sun was out, you know, so it wasn't terribly cold, but I mean, it was chill for the most part.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a surprise. And then my sister surprised the family with she's pregnant with her husband. Congratulations to my sister and her husband. And we're gonna have another baby in our family, so that's really exciting.
That's awesome.
And then after that, we had the 3 rest of the days leading up to like Christmas, and we spent time with JP's family. And it's like not in Vegas, but like an hour away, or like
Oh, so
less than an hour.
they were
away
in
from
the
Vegas.
area too?
Yeah, they live. His sister lives out there, so
Oh, that's right. I remember you
Yeah.
telling me.
yeah. So we got to kick it
Aw.
with them, and then his sister took us to see. We went to go see lights on Christmas Eve, like at the Speedway.
Oh,
It's
that's
the
tight.
I forgot what the exact name of it is, but it's
Mhm.
like that they had like a little light drive-through thing, and it was really fun.
It's kind of close to the state line of California, isn't it?
I think no,
It's not that
no,
far.
No, no, no.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, this one was at the Speedway, where they like decked it out and all these lights, and you drive through it, and it's really fun. And you listen to Christmas music while you're driving
Aw,
through,
that's
drink your little hot
cute.
chocolate.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Was Malachi like in awe?
He was actually.
Oh,
He's
that's
actually
so
more
cute.
aware now, so he's like, yeah, he was in awe. He's just like staring at everything. It was cute.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Motherhood is so trippy. And okay, so like a little bit of just catch up in my life too really quick, because I was just like dying to catch up with you because it feels like 2 weeks too long, right? But in this transition in my life, it just feels like one of the biggest lessons is just kind of slowing your pace down. I feel like we live in such a society where it's like go, what next,
Yeah.
like work, no sleep, no rest. But it's just kind of in this transitional phase where I'm like, let me just like slow down for a moment. And I think that's what was really nice about taking a break from the holidays too, is just kind of a reset button. Did you kind of feel that? I kind of
Yeah.
felt that too, like a reset button, like
Definitely.
because I know we're always gonna go hard, and I
Mhm.
feel like we're not gonna stop. So I feel like we owe it to ourselves to like have a moment with our families.
Oh my gosh.
you know.
Yes.
But yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on that coming here, just like, man, like being this stage in my life as far as like motherhood, like, because I'm just gonna be like, keep it real. Like, I decided to leave my like 9 to 5 job to like spend time with my son and just kind of be more present. And I feel like I can do that with a better, like, if I'm in a better state,
Yeah.
like mentally,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can perform in like being like a better wife and a better mother, like things like that. So it's
Mhm.
just kind of like a transitional phase right now for me.
Gotcha.
It runs deep, but I feel like you and our listeners are my only friends.
Oh my
I'm just kidding.
Not only
Because I
friends.
feel a little isolated. I'm not gonna lie, and I understand. Like, I don't really want to like put myself in the category of like stay at home mom, because I know that I have like my side business with my
Yeah.
brows and stuff that
Mhm.
I'm is like my entrepreneurial side. Like, that's why I don't want to categorize myself in that. But I say this to say that I understand why stay at home moms have friends or like their own groups or whatever, so that you can like stay sane, because being with your kid like
Uh-huh.
24/7, it kind of makes me like, okay, I do need to step away from myself. It's just like this weird balance I'm like trying to learn. But
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was a lot.
I mean, motherhood is something that I can't relate to personally, but I can see you doing it, and you're like killing it. Like,
Aw.
you're obviously a great mom to
Aw, thank
Malachi,
you.
and you're super gung ho about your business. I don't know. I feel like, and of course, you have more than just me and the listeners as your friends.
I know.
But I
It just
know
feels that way sometimes.
I know. I
Like,
mean, it's a big change.
Yeah.
You go from seeing, going to a standard workplace 5 days out of the week,
yep.
only seeing your son to the evening, to it flipping around where you have this as like your constant as far as like
Mhm.
work goes.
Yeah.
And then you have your son.
And it's
almost all
good
of the
work
day.
too. Like, you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
want to put in my energy for that. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I guess that's my
Yeah.
balance. Yeah.
For anyone out there listening who's kind of going through something similar to Hazel, where it's like you're at a place where you feel like your purpose isn't being fulfilled, and you have like family that that are at home and you want to spend more time with them, don't be afraid to make a leap. I mean,
Yeah. It's scary, but it's
Mhm.
worth it.
Yeah.
And then in the other aspect of that is just trying to juggle like keeping yourself motivated and keeping yourself disciplined to get those routines for getting to that next level. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for my business and like the millennials, and just trying to keep it moving. But
Yeah,
it's all a work in progress. Exactly.
Complacency is always at your fingertips when, with anything that you do.
Mhm.
With anything that you do that you don't have to do. Like,
Yeah.
complacency is at your fingertips, but I'm glad that you're still like gung ho about everything, and that your eyes on the prize when it comes to
Mhm.
like at least our podcast. So yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
it. You're doing it.
So that's what I've been kind of up to as far as like personally, yeah, there was there was something I did want to talk about today. We were talking about 2024, starting off with like a huge bang was, and we have to talk about it, is Jo Koy hosting the Golden Globe Awards.
Yes.
Okay,
First of all,
what
applause.
do you think? Yeah,
Applause to Jo
huge
Koy.
congratulations to Jo Koy for that.
accomplishing that. From the bits and pieces that I saw, he did great.
I agree. And I may be completely biased, but I don't care. I'm going to say it. He put on for the Filipinos, and so many people were saying he wasn't great, but that's also not his original audience. So they don't understand his humor.
He's not for them.
He
It's
didn't
okay.
appeal to the mass audience, but
Right.
it's okay. I think he was brave to take on a gig that he had 10 days to prepare for, when they say other hosts have 6 months.
6 months.
About to prepare for an award show like gig. But yeah, what's your takeaway from that whole thing?
So I didn't watch the Golden Globes, but I did wake up the next morning to memes and posts basically saying that Joe could have done better, or like people didn't like Joe's jokes, or he wasn't good, or he wasn't funny. And then I actually, when it comes to stuff like that, I hate actually watching it for myself, because what if it's true? I don't
Yeah, I
don't
feel
like
the same.
feeling like, oh fuck, like watching someone that you're a fan of, like Jo
I know
Koy,
exactly that feeling.
get like berated or get like shunned or like just like looked down upon.
In comparison, it's kind of like I don't like watching Lakers games because I don't like seeing them lose. If they lose, then I'll be like really disappointed. And that's kind of how you feel with the Jo Koy thing. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of felt that way too, but I was so curious I had to watch it.
Yes, and that's why I'm glad when we came in here and we were prepping and eating dinner, you basically played his monologue, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, people were laughing. What are people tripping
Exactly.
about? What are they nitpicking? Because obviously, yes, the audience didn't like belly laugh throughout his whole monologue, but he did get laughs on the jokes that I thought were funny. You know what I mean? And like they were saying how, the Barbie cast didn't enjoy his jokes. They did. Margot Robbie was laughing. And
Ryan Gosling.
People were probably thinking that Ryan Gosling was like
Glaring.
mad dogging,
Yeah.
mad dogging or glaring at Jo Koy, but he was smoldering because Jo Koy made a joke about his beautiful eyes, so he was smoldering at him.
I saw that.
I mean, if anybody can
He
take a joke, it's
totally
Ryan
was.
Gosling,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, like that's why I'm glad that Hazel played that clip, because based off the post that I was reading, I was like, oh my God, he bombed so bad, but he didn't.
I don't think he did.
He
It may not
didn't.
be his best work, but also given every single circumstance and him just taking that challenge,
Yeah.
it is not easy. Coming from like being a host, like there's an art to it, and it's not
Yeah.
something everyone can do, and just being able to interact with your audience but be funny at the same time. Now, I'm not
Right.
even saying I'm funny, but like being a host and being a comedian are definitely two different things.
Oh, yeah.
He also, I don't want to say that's an excuse for a bad show, but I don't think he did terrible.
Not at all. It's just that his style isn't the Golden Globe style.
Yeah.
And like, what can you expect from a comedian that's been doing this for decades? He can't just switch
Exactly.
it up just for your one night of award show.
Exactly. I feel like, I know this is coming off as like we're defending him, which
We are.
this is just this is just my opinion, okay? But I think that the critics are really tough, but I don't even like to say the word critic because a lot of it was just, like I said, not his usual audience member. So I think the crowd was just maybe a little snooty, and just didn't want to laugh at everything. But also, I think it was a win for him either way, because he put Filipinos on the map, and who can say they're the first Filipino to host the Golden Globes? Like, that's huge. That's a huge milestone. And then another takeaway is what I really like about how the media is actually being really nice. Like the critics, as far as viewers and audience, like the mass, I think we're really harsh with him, but I think the media has been showing a lot of kindness towards him. I don't know if you've been seeing
fellow
that.
comedians and other actors.
Are speaking out saying, man, that's not an easy gig.
At
And
all.
he killed it, really. So, and he's going to be fine. So I think it's a win because people are talking about him either way.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a notch on Jo Koy's belt. So
And he's been so gracious about it. I saw him for a little clip on Channel 5, and he was talking about it. And of course he said that, of course he's a little hurt by it, but like, I think he's the type that can make a joke about it and move on. You know what I mean? Like, he's so gracious.
he's
and
still
humble
rich.
like that. Exactly.
After this, he'll still be rich. His teeth are
Exactly.
white. He's got nothing to
So
complain
white.
about.
But
He's
yeah.
got, his life is good, you know?
Okay, but you did you already mention this, or you might have said it off air earlier about Taylor Swift?
I didn't talk about Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay,
yet.
okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about her reaction when he made that joke about her not getting enough? Or was it the NFL? What was the difference between NFL and
the difference between NFL and the Golden Globes is that on the Golden Globes you don't see as many shots of Taylor Swift.
I thought that was funny, and I don't know why she had the snootiest vibe.
So that was one of the posts that I woke up to after the Golden Globes, and I was like, dang, is she like that, like mean in real life? So when Hazel played me the clip, I was like, okay, it could be one of two things, and I'm hoping it's this thing. She's trying to be extra dry to make it funnier. Like, kind of like, I don't know, because she's kind of like girl next door bubbly from other things that I've seen. But for her to be like, to Jo Koy, I think maybe that's her overall like take on how people, because she's gotten a lot of shit from, or the NFL has gotten a lot of shit for showing her way before this show. The NFL has taken a lot of like criticism on like too much Taylor Swift, too much Taylor Swift. So like,
It is kind of
another NFL
Yeah.
joke. So instead of her being like giggle and like look away, she's kind of like,
Like, drink her. Let's pretend. Let's
Yeah,
do
like-
it. Okay, if you're watching the video of this podcast, we're going to take our drink and copy what she looked like, okay? I can't even do it without
I did
laughing.
mine so fast. I'm just,
I can't even do it without laughing. Should we look in the camera for this?
I did.
Aaron's going to zoom into it. I'm just kidding. All right, ready? Go right next to each other. I don't know if that. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hold it in. Should I try it one more time? Because I wanted to laugh the whole time.
oh, she wasn't looking at the camera though, huh?
She wasn't. She was looking sideways. Do you remember?
She was like, I think, or was she looking at Joe?
I don't know. She was looking straight. That's all I remember. I was thinking.
Or
She was
did
looking to the side. Oh. Aaron said she was looking to the
So
side.
should I look that way? You look that way?
Okay. Ready? Okay. All right. Let's pretend you're Jo Koy.
The difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL is that less cameras are pointed at Taylor Swift at the Golden Globes.
I can't do it without laughing. Oh, okay. Can we do it one more time?
I drooled when I said that.
All right. For real this time. I'm gonna try it. There you go.
Taylor Swift is in the house. The difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL is that the Golden Globes have less cameras pointed towards Taylor Swift.
I can't. That's it. I'm not gonna try anymore. I did it the first time earlier.
That's my Jo Koy impersonation.
Should we do one more? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Joseph.
No, I thought that was really funny. I just really think everybody's exaggerating. It's really not
Yeah,
that
everyone's a
serious.
little uptight, and I think Taylor Swift probably overacted in her reaction because I really think that she wanted to be dry, like consciously poo-poo on that joke, just like,
I don't know. I don't know her. I don't understand her humor. I just want to say from the outside looking in, it kind of looks a little snooty.
Yeah, I feel you.
So,
Yeah, that
it just kind of wasn't my vibe.
her reaction didn't hit the way I think she wanted it to.
Yeah. I mean, who knows the truth? Only she knows the truth.
True.
But I did like how Jo Koy was very, other people were laughing at him, like Meryl Streep.
Oh my God,
and
Robert De Niro was
Robert De Niro.
laughing. Other comedians were in the audience
That
too.
joke he did with him, where he was talking about how your greatest performance, Robert De Niro, was, he was like, you got her pregnant. How'd you get her pregnant at 80? I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that kind of joke is up Joe's alley for sure.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that Robert like laughed at it and understood that yes, it's funny.
Another thing, he was like, some of these jokes, he's like, I didn't write all of these, but the ones you're laughing at are the ones I did, or something like that.
I didn't write this one.
But I don't know, there was a lot of backlash for him saying that, because they're like, okay, you got to own it, like, why are you going to just put your writers under the bus? But I'm thinking he's just being honest, and why not, like, okay, maybe it is the truth, and that's why it's funny.
So my take is that he wrote all the jokes, but that was just him like
Making
that's
a
his
joke about it?
making a joke about that joke falling flat.
You don't think he had writers?
I don't think so. And if he didn't, like, it's okay for his joke to fall flat because like we were saying, like not everyone in that audience knows his style.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets him. And I think that's just like him. I think it's funny when he says, I didn't write that joke. I think that's funny.
I do too.
Sometimes that saves
But that's
the
because
moment.
I think, again, it's because we're familiar with his comedic stand-up and we're familiar with the jokes. Like one of his comedy specials on Netflix, I remember watching the first 10 minutes. I was dying. Me and my husband were dying laughing. We had to press pause because we had to catch our breath, literally. So I'm like, this guy is hilarious. I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't think it was his best, funniest work, but given the 10 days he had to prepare for it, you know,
Yeah.
come on, what are you gonna do?
True. Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I think the specials, he probably does have writers. My only guess that he probably didn't have writers for this because he only had 10 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he had any time to organize people to help him write. But anyhow, that's neither here or there. Joe did an awesome job. I think people are overreacting and people just like to dogpile. Once you have
Yeah.
one person that's like, oh, that wasn't funny, then you have person 1 to 1 million be like, oh yeah, I agree with you, that wasn't funny.
Mhm.
And then it turns like something that was just so small into something so big.
Exactly.
Joe did a good job, and yeah. I
Good
don't
job. Cheers to that. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
So I don't think we're gonna have time to talk about the other thing. We can save it for another episode. But I really wanted to talk about Cat Williams and his episode with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay podcast. And that's so detailed. I don't think we'll have time for that on this one, but
Yeah.
that's just something I think we should dive into because he unpacked a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot to unpack.
3-hour interview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth a listen, though. I thought it was entertaining.
That's another one I didn't want to listen to because, I mean, I'm a big comedy fan and I didn't want to hear any of my favorite comedians get exposed. But lo and behold, via like other posts and other reels that people put together,
Yeah.
some of my favorite comedians got exposed. So.
It's interesting, though. I mean, just listen to it for, I mean, at least for entertainment, if that, you know what I mean? So it's very entertaining. And I mean, okay, we won't have time to talk about it. And I don't want to say my thoughts right now, but yeah, I think we're coming up on time for
Absolutely.
this episode.
So for this being our first recording of 2024, and it's only literally the 9th day of the month, there was a lot that happened and a lot to go on.
Supposedly an alien was seen in Miami too. See, I want to talk about that too. I want to talk about what people are talking about because this is
again like
crazy.
People just like dogpiling that, because we all know that I've seen videos and there's videos out there that show that those things weren't aliens. There were police officers walking in.
That's
spotlights.
what I heard too.
So it's like,
but then they were saying, is it a cover up? Like, too, what? Like, why did they have to be that many cops and stuff? And it was supposedly for teenagers or something.
So,
the story.
It was a lot of cops there because people were running because they heard pops. They were fireworks, but people were calling it in like they think it's gunshots.
Yeah.
So that's why they called so many police officers and backup and stuff.
But that story is just getting out of hand too, because just like, okay, now it's about aliens.
It was one guy that was like, I was just there. It was an alien invasion.
And then he lied, right?
And then he was like, I'm just kidding, man. I was never there. I'm not even in the state.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is weird.
Yeah, just
weird stuff.
Yeah. People dogpiling and like rallying behind the most like weirdest things. Yeah.
I know. Okay. Well, before we end the show, let's take one more little cheers.
One more cheers.
To our first episode back of 2024.
Yes, sir.
New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New.
And that's a wrap on our first episode of the year.
So be sure that you are following us on all our social media at the.millennials.
Yeah, and make sure you like, follow, subscribe on all of our platforms. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We can appreciate any ratings you guys have for us. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah. Did you mention YouTube?
I did. That was the
Oh my
first
God.
one, YouTube.
YouTube. Follow us on YouTube.
Yeah. So our exclusive content, as always, will be on tracklife.com.
That's right. And you can catch us here every Monday.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we see you guys next time.
Yep.
Right.
Peace.
Bye.